What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next we are going to be going over the last set of higher dollar books that I picked up in that Golden Age collection. So these are the remainder of the books that are valued at $100 or more. There are 38 books left in this one. Let's check these out. So before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. So if you remember, I picked up a mostly Golden Age collection along with Big B, McFly, the Comic Guy, and I've gone through and processed all these books. I'm going to actually create another video where I go over the overall kind of my estimated value of the collection, and kind of just to talk about what we paid versus what we think we can sell it for, that kind of thing. But for this video, this is the third part in where I've gone over the books that I valued at $100 or more. So I broke down this collection into the books that are $100 or more, 50 to 100, or 50 and below. And so I broke those all out, and that's how I'm kind of helping with listing them. So I focus on the higher dollar books first and kind of work my way back. But let's start getting into these. There's a lot of books, like I said, 38 books. First one here is actually the only slabbed book that we have in this, and we got this one, Marvel Tales number 125 in a 5.0. This is from Atlas. Pretty cool pre-code horror book, and we got this one. It wasn't originally part of the deal, but if you remember, we had some problems with a couple of the books, like the Action Comics 89 had the wrong interior, that kind of thing, and so we were able to work out a deal to kind of make up for that a little bit, and so we got that book. But let's start getting into these. So these are all in alphabetical order, and I think I pronounced this guy's name wrong. I am not familiar with this show. I know some people that were in the comments said it was a very popular show, or back in the day, but not in my time. So give me a little bit of a break. But this is the Many Loves of Dobie Gillis. And this is issue number 1, and that's really what makes this one a little bit more valuable. And as I said, these are the ones that are $100 and more. So Many Loves of Dobie Gillis. Number 1s are always just, they add a little bit extra to the books. The next one, we have Marvel Family, number 14. So just one of the earlier issues of Marvel Family, and a decent condition copy. So you can see, decent condition copy, because so a number of these books were lower grade, but there were a few in there that were pretty solid grade. So Marvel Family number 14. Then this is probably the coolest book from the Marvel Family type books that were in this. This is Marvel Family number 77, and this is this kind of like Soviet threat type cover, but really cool giant hand cover. You can see there's just a lot of general wear to this book, but still a pretty valuable book regardless of grade. So Marvel Family number 77. This is one of the coolest pre-code horror books that we got. I love this cover. This is Marvel Tales number 121. I just think it's such a cool zombie cover where this guy is walking through this graveyard getting pulled underneath, and you have that. It's similar to those books that have the view from the side where you have an underwater view and there's something going on underneath. I think this one's very similar to that. Really cool cover. So Marvel Tales number 121. We've got Marvel Tales number 131. A lot of the pre-code horror books in this collection were Atlas, and so this is also Atlas. Then this book right here. This was a nice surprise because I did not remember seeing this one in one of the original videos when I was sent the videos, kind of when we were going over the books. But this is Mickey Mouse Magazine, Volume 5, number 10. And so this is just 2 issues before this turned into Walt Disney's Comics and Stories. And so Volume 12 is actually not the most valuable, a very valuable book, being that last issue. But this one, too, also is a pretty valuable book, and just a great Donald Duck cover. 4th of July, so you can see it's from July 1940, so very early as well, and decent condition. Then we've got Modern Comics number 49. This is actually a key. It's the first appearance of Fear. She's not on the cover, but she is on the interior on the very first opening splash page. And I actually did a short about that a while ago. If you want to go back and check through my shorts, you can see that that interior opening splash page for this. So a first appearance from the Golden Age is not something you come across all that often, so I thought that was pretty cool. Then we've got another pretty cool pre-code horror book. We've got Mysterious Adventures number 9, I believe. Yeah, number 9. Just cool skull cover, and I like the red and the yellow. Looks cool on this and the heading there too. Then we've got another atlas here, Mystery Tales number 18. Again, just kind of like it's almost like a zombie or some type of monster. You got a bunch of skulls down here carrying this guy off. Pretty cool cover. Then we have Mystery Tales number 21. This one, a little bit more kind of like you would call it like a suspense type cover than a horror cover. But yeah, Mystery Tales number 21. All right, so that is the first 10 there. So let's move on to the next set of 10. We're still in Mystery Tales. We've got Mystery Tales number 23. A nice presenting copy. Really nice colors on this one. It's got some creases and that kind of thing, but nice colors on this copy. And then Mystery Tales number 24. A little bit of like a mix of horror and suspense on this cover. A lot of the Mystery Tales covers are like that. They're a little bit more of a mix of horror and suspense. This is one of the other pretty cool pre-code horror covers. This is a Mystic number 24, kind of like a lizard man, something like that, you know, taking his face disguise off. But you can tell, like, these are lower grade books. I mean, a lot of wear on the spine, but still pretty cool cover, Mystic number 24. Then we've got Mystic number 36, where this guy is going to have a bad day up there with this knight. But yeah, Mystic number 36. Then this is another one, pretty cool cover, very low grade, but I've never owned this one before this. I've seen it come up at auctions quite a few times, but cool to own this. This is Nightmare number 12. And this is from St. John Publications, and they actually have a lot of books that are Matt Baker covers. A lot of the romance covers are done by that publisher. So it's not a publisher you see too often, but it's most well known for those Baker romance books. But Nightmare number 12. Then this one, I actually did a short with this one as well. Out of the Shadows, I think this is, number 6, because it has a really cool splash page. Because I'm always checking all these books, you know, I'm flipping through, doing page counts, making sure things are complete, there are no cutouts, all that kind of stuff. And when I see a cool splash page, I like to make a point to show it, like whether it's in a short or a video or something. And it was this hanging cover that was pretty violent. So this one has again, go check out that short if you want to see that one. But definitely a cool interior splash page on this one. Then there were a few Archies. This is Pep Comics number 61. So Archie started off in Pep Comics, and then eventually you had Archie Comics and all the other variations of Archie titles that are out there. But Pep Comics number 61. Then we have kind of a Good Girl Art Betty cover. This is Pep Comics number 73. And you've got the little kind of like, just the little innuendo type stuff that they always put on a lot of these covers. Then there were a few, actually only one Police Comics that made the cut for the $100 or more. This is Police Comics number 42, and it's not in great condition, but it's in decent condition, a decent presenting copy of this Plastic Man issue. Plastic Man's first appearance is in Police Comics number 1, so this is a little bit, ways on into his appearances, but if you're wondering about his first appearance, it's in Police Comics number 1. That's also the first appearance of Phantom Lady, is that Police Comics number 1. All right, next one. This was the only Sensation Comics that was in this entire collection. This is Sensation Comics number 52. Actually a pretty decent presenting copy, but the person got real happy with the stamps. They're also on, I believe they're also on the back cover of this, but real happy with the stamps on this one. So there's a lot of stamps, but a decent presenting copy. Sensation Comics number 52. All right, that's the second set of 10. Let's move on to the third set of 10 here. All right, so now the next one here, this is Shadow Comics Volume 6, number 12. I've talked about Shadow Comics quite a bit. I feel like a lot of these issues have some pretty cool covers, and they just haven't really gotten that much attention yet. It's possible maybe they're undervalued, or it's possible they will always stay that way. But I've found the ones that use the volumes, you know, that have the numbers and volumes, they seem to struggle a little bit with getting recognition from people. And I wonder if it's just because it's a little harder to just track the numbers. But it's just something I've noticed. But Shadow Comics Volume 6, number 12. Now this one is really cool. I did a separate, I did a short, I think, on this one as well. This is called Single Series number 5, and it is considered Fritzy Ritz number 1. And now I know Fritzy Ritz isn't a super popular character anymore, but this is a very old book. I believe this is 1939. It is an extremely rare book. This is a pretty solid presenting copy. It had, I believe, like some splitting up on the top here. There's some, you know, decent splitting up on the top of the spine, but a solid presenting copy, and one you just do not see. Because there is a second print as well. I can't remember if it says second print or what it, but it's like, I believe it's like right on the cover here. But this is the first print, and it is complete. I did all the counts and everything, but Single Series number 5, a very rare book. Again, go check out that other video I did if you want to see the interior of that. Now this one, really cool cover. This is Space Detective number 1. There actually are 2 Space Detective number 1s. This is the earlier one. This is the one that has more value, but you've got the Good Girl Art type covers, and this one is the Opium Smugglers of Venus. But yeah, Space Detectives number 1, pretty cool book. Now into a few Superman. This is Superman number 45. I believe this was the earliest Superman that was in this collection that we got. Then we've got actually a key from Superman. This is one of the ones that we had the issue with because there was a piece out of the interior. And since this is one of the more valuable books, that hurt that a little bit. But this is Superman number 61, and this is the first appearance of Green Kryptonite. It's also the first time, I believe, Superman returns back to Krypton. It's an interior story that I think I did a flip through and showed that as well in a prior video. If you want to go back, I think it was when I showed part of this collection earlier. And so if you want to go check that out, yeah, I showed the interior of this one as well. So Superman number 61. Then this was actually a decent copy, a pretty decent grade on this copy. This is Superman number 73, a nice presenting copy of this one. It might have been like detached at the bottom staple. I think it's attached at both. I don't remember. It's been a little while since I did the interior review of this one, but a solid presenting copy, Superman number 73. And then we've got Superman number 74. This one is a little bit lower grade. You can see it's got a big spine roll, that kind of thing. But still, very early Superman. And then we've got Superman number 91. This is the last Superman issue that made the cut for this $100 and more. So Superman number 91. All right, now back to a little bit more horror. We've got Suspense Comics number 18. Back to Atlas. Like I said, a lot of the books, the pre-code horror type books in this collection were from Atlas. So Suspense Comics number, or not Suspense Comics, because there is the Suspense Comics from back in the 40s. This is just Suspense number 18. Then this is a cool cover. I believe I've owned this one other time. This is Suspense number 20. A little more of that horror vibe on this cover with the kind of like the skeleton under the sheet there. Then this is another one of the ones that was one of the cooler pre-code horror books that we got. This is Terrific number 14. Now it is a lower grade book. I think it's almost completely split. It's detached, so lower grade book, but presents very well. Really nice colors on this copy. This is a Don Heck cover, and just a pretty cool cover. Don Heck had a lot of cool pre-code horror covers, and this is one of them. So Terrific number 14. All right, so that is the next set of 10. So now we've got the final 8 books here, because there's actually 39 if you count the slab. So the final 8 books here that were in that $100 and above valuation from this collection. The first one here is This Magazine is Haunted number 12. This is a cool run. I definitely recommend, if you're interested in pre-code horror, go and check out this run, because there's a lot of value in this run where it's some really cool covers and they don't cost all that much right now, at least most of them. There's a couple that are really expensive, but for the most part, this is I feel like it's an undervalued run right now. So this magazine is Haunted number 12. Then back to Atlas, Uncanny Tales number 18. Again, another guy that's gonna have a bad time on this clock here when that axe gets to him. But Uncanny Tales number 18. This was the only Walt Disney's Comics and Stories that I put in this $100 and above. There were actually quite a few of them in this collection, but a lot of them fall into that $50 to $100 or just under $50. This is Walt Disney's Comics and Stories, Volume 5, number 8. And they do also often sometimes put the actual number right here. So it's number 56. And so if you don't see that, or if it's one of the ones that doesn't have that there, volume 5 means that they have 12 issues per volume. So volume 4 would have been 48 issues, and then we're on number 8 here. So 8 plus 48 gets you to 56. But this is a pretty decent copy of this book, and that's why this one got up into this $100 plus valuation. So Walt Disney's Comics and Stories, number 56, or volume 5, number 8. Then we've got couple more pre-code horror here. We've got Web of Evil number 3, pretty early one in the run. Cool pre-code horror cover. You got the skeletons and skulls and all that kind of stuff on the cover here. Then we've got Web of Evil number 16. Again, ghost choking this guy out on the cover here. Then we have Web of Evil number 18, where again we've got kind of like a zombie type cover here. And yeah, you can tell, like, lower grade books, they've got some wear and all that kind of thing. But generally, most of these were complete. Lower grade or not, most of these ended up that everything is there. So if you want to read it, flip through it, all that kind of stuff, that's all there in these books. Now, this was one of the cooler books that was part of this collection as well, just because it is so rare. It is missing the back cover. But still a very cool book regardless. This is Weird Comics number 12. Front cover looks great. You know, and I knew it was missing the back cover. There's actually a note on it when I saw it in the video, so I knew it was going to be a 0.5 regardless. But the front cover actually presents real nice. You've got great colors and everything on this copy. But I believe the interior is all there, if I remember correctly. It's just the back cover that is missing. And obviously the front cover is detached as well. But Weird Comics number 12, you do not see this run hardly ever. So this was a very cool book to see. And then the last book here for the $100 plus books that were part of this collection. There were a few others, but I've sold them, and so I wasn't able to show them in this video or in this series of videos. But this is Worlds of Fear number 4. And I just think this is a cool cover. You've got the, it's like the black background, which I always like in pre-code horror type covers. I always think the black backgrounds make stuff pop. Then you've got just the cool eyes on the cover. And then this skeleton zombie guy down there. I feel like he would have been cool if he was a little bigger, on this, because that's one of the coolest parts of this cover too, is that skeleton on the bottom. But yeah, Worlds of Fear number 4, really cool pre-code horror book. But those are the final 39 books that were in this collection that I classified as $100 or more. If you haven't watched the other videos, you can go back and check those out as well. I did 30, 30, and then here I did 39. And like I said, it was actually a little bit above 100 that met that requirement, or that when I broke them all out. But I have sold some of them already before I was able to film, and so I wasn't able to show those here. But if you'd like to see more videos like this, if you'd like to see more follow-up on this collection as we process it and sell through it, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I've got more videos over here if you'd like to watch some of my other videos. Subscription button is right here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.